I want to welcome you and thank you for taking the time out of your day to join this training call for the Mott's Dr. Pepper Snapple Cassey's install of the Mott's Juice Roller Rack. We have on the call with us today Ralph Kimlick from Dr. Pepper, which I'm sure I just butchered his last name, and Floyd Stoner, who's also with Dr. Pepper Snapple. We are going to go through this presentation. This presentation is also going to be mailed to you along with a letter of authorization that you will have to show your stores what is going on and that we have permission to be in the stores to do this project. We will not be taking roll call. I can see who's on the call. We will actually be using the password that you use to get into this call, which is JUICE, for you to record your time on JET. And I'm going to mute everyone. There is the ability for you to be able to chat if you have a question that comes up during the presentation. I can read that question to Ralph or Floyd, and they can give us the answer. It's also a good way for us to get the questions done at the end of the call, although I will unmute everyone so that questions can be answered at the end of the call. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ralph, and I'm going to mute everyone except for Ralph and myself and Floyd. Ralph, it's all yours.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Okay, good morning, everyone. I will be going over most of the presentation, and Floyd will be piping in as necessary. First of all, this is going to be a project that's going to be at Cassey's General Stores, which I'm sure many of you are in the Midwest, or you wouldn't be on the call. You're aware of these convenience stores. There are 1,800 of these stores, and this Mott's Juice Roller Rack will be installed in their coolers in their juice section. The install starts obviously next Monday and will run through the 29th. After the 29th, we'll assess how many stores were either missed or there was an issue with a rack, etc. And we'll probably end up having a mop-up program. Next slide, please. Okay, the racks are currently being shipped from Cassey's directly to the stores, along with 3 cases of juice product. There is a case of our Mott's Fruit Punch, our Mott's Grape Surge, and our original Mott's Apple Juice, along with this rack. Now the rack, obviously, it will have, again, the start really is when you enter the store, you're going to have to introduce yourself. Cassey's does not normally allow third parties to come in and set in racks. So it's very important that you introduce yourself and then show them the Cassey's letter of authorization, which we'll be going over in the next slide, and reviewing that with them, and that way giving you the authorization and the cooperation from the store to do this project. After that, you need to locate this carton with the hold sticker on it. It will actually say, please hold rack for Advantage Merchandising Services to install. So we're hoping that we've covered all the bases to make sure that the rack is in the store when you get there. Next slide, please. As I mentioned, here's a copy of the letter of authorization, of which you will also get a hard copy in your mailing. The area that I blocked and outlined in red basically says, hey, Cassey store manager, you received a rack and 3 cases of juice. Please hold on to them. Starting May 11th, Advantage Merchandising Services will be stopping by during that week or the next whatever to install the rack. So the install is going to continue through the month of May. So this will give you the authorization coming directly from their senior category manager to make sure that you get all the cooperation at the store you're going to need. Next slide, please. This is a quick overview of showing what is actually in the rack. There will not be any juice in the rack, but you will get a roller rack, which is segmented into 3 sections for the 3 different juices, as you see in this picture. You'll have 2 adjustable telescopic arms, and in some cases, there will be a Mott's shelf strip in the box. We had a little issue with the manufacturer. They forgot to install with about half of them. That is why you're getting a secondary supply. So if you get a box, you open it up, and there is no shelf strip, use the ones you're going to be receiving in your mailing. If not, use the one obviously that's in the box. This is a very simple install. There are no tools necessary. It's just simply using that J hook that's at the end of each one of those telescopic arms and putting them into the standards, as you'll see in the upcoming slides. So next slide. So first step, you have to obviously locate the juice store within your cooler system. Very easily identified because you'll see obviously orange juice, grape juice, and you'll see all the children's juices, and the big Everfresh white label racking system that's on shelf 1 there. What you're ultimately going to get to is the picture to the right, which is showing the roller rack installed directly under the Everfresh rack. Now, the only difference between that picture and what you're going to end up doing is there's going to be, you're going to have a label on there with the Mott's, and you're obviously going to have the Cassey's reorder tags put on there as well. So let's go see the next slide. Next shot is a little bit closer shot of the Everfresh shelf and directly showing you where that's going to be installed, directly below it, above the base, which contains Good to Grow and the Cassey's juices. Again, these are all the Cassey's racks are standardized. The standards are all the same, so that J hook should easily slot into those standard slots you'll see in the rack. And you'll hear me use the term slot quite a bit, because what ultimately you're trying to do is move the shelf 1, 2, and 3 above the base and to create the room for this shelf, this roller rack. So next slide. The rack itself, this is a picture of the bottom of the shelf. So I'm just trying to show you where those telescopic arms are actually going to be placed. First one's very simple because it's going to fit into that slot right there. Lori's kind of running the little cursor across. That kind of prevents the tray from sliding forward, and it fixes it in position. The J hooks obviously will hook into the standards. On the back, now you will have to go inside the cooler. You'll have to put the other arm in there at the same distance from the bottom shelf, or the same distance from below the shelf 1 as it is in the front, and that the tray just rests on that particular telescopic arm. Next slide. This side's a little bit confusing, but I just want to say the bottom line is, you're trying to create the space between what I've labeled the base shelf and shelf 1. That space we need is 8 open notches within those standards, 8 to 9 open notches. So ultimately what you're going to be doing is raising up shelf 3, 2, and 1 with enough space to make sure that you can create that 8 to 9 open notches between the base and shelf 1. As you can see above the Tropicana juices, there is a lot of space there to begin with. Not all the stores are exactly the same, but I believe once you get through the first 1 or 2 stores, you'll be able to handle this very quickly. The project I think is slotted for 1 hour. We don't think it'll take an hour. It'll probably take an hour the first time, and then get substantially easier as you get used to exactly how this process will work. So bottom line is, you want to move shelf 3 up 2 notches, shelf 2 up 2 notches, and move shelf 1 up 4 notches, and then that will create that 4 to 9 notches needed between the base and shelf 1 for the installation. And the next slide.
Just a reminder, folks, as you're moving these shelves, to make sure that you unload them. They'll move easier without the product on them.
Yes, thank you, Lori. This is a picture of the back. So now you're inside the actual cooler. Now, as I mentioned some of the other calls, for those of you that get cold, I would bring a sweatshirt because those are all refrigerated. This is the back of the standard, and very simply, as you can see, those are the notches that I'm referring to. In this picture, there are 8 empty notches that were created by moving those shelves 1, 2, and 3 up to create that space for the roller rack. The J hook is actually hooked into notch number 2, directly below shelf 1. And that will be the same on all 4 standards. So the 2 in the front and the 2 in the back. They're all hung at the same height because this roller rack already has a built-in angle into it so that the product will roll forward. Next shot, next slide. Once the rack is installed, we'd like you to put in the Mott's shelf strip. Unfortunately, they were not made at full length, which is kind of a problem we had, but we didn't have time to fix it. And then place the Cassey's price and reorder tags as I've shown there on the slide. Those are all should be available from the store manager or whoever's in charge of the store at the time, because they've all been sent out by Cassey's. So at the end, what you have looking at is, you look to the right after the install. Again, like I showed in an earlier slide, the roller rack is directly under the Everfresh and above Good to Grow and Cassey's juice drinks. As I've mentioned in the past, you just need the only difference between this picture and what's actually going to be there. You'll have the Mott's shelf strip as well as the reorder tags. Do you want to go over the questions now?
Yeah, let me pull up the call report.
Okay, you will be getting a call report that we have, because again, I said this is 1,800 stores, so we really need to understand what was being done in each store because there's obviously going to be some issues here and there. So at the beginning, we're just basically asking, obviously, who the store manager was and their name and all, etc. It comes down to the real questions. Number 4 is, were you able to install the Mott's juice roller rack in the store, yes or no? If it's no, we need you to take a picture because we want to make sure that what the problem was. Was it not enough space? Was it because there was an issue with the store size, etc.? Then if you go down, if you were able to, we want to make sure that we want to photograph because we want to make sure the strip was up, the tags were up, and it's been loaded with the product. Then the questions you'll see below that say check grocery section of store for the next 4 Mott's items. Those questions are just around distribution of some of our core items in the grocery set. So, Laura, if you go back to that slide, yes, perfect. When you're finished and completed the task with the roller rack, you just need to go to the center store grocery aisle and look for the 4 Mott's items shown in this slide. The 64-ounce Mott's apple juice, the 24-ounce original apple sauce, and our 2 Mott's pouches, which are single-serve pouches. One is original and the other one's cinnamon. We just want to make sure they're on the shelf and that they're tagged with a Cassey's tag. Answer those questions because we want to get that information back to Cassey's in case there is a distribution problem. And they'll identify what stores they have to ship product out to, and we'll also let them know what stores we can get tags shipped out to as well. So so I guess right now the best is there any questions? Come on.
Everyone is unmuted. If you've got a question, go ahead and speak, or you can send me a chat message and I can read it and we can go over it. Just a couple of things on the white racks for the Cassey's. We will pull those out and slide them back in and then push them in to lock them when you move them. I'm not sure if you saw that in the slide at the back of the back of the store.
I could speak to that too. But yeah, the Cassey's white racks, they actually pull out of the slide and then you move them and you slide them back into the slide and lock them back into place.
Okay, does anyone have any questions? Earl, do you have a question? Earl Dotson, did you have a question? The question was, is there going to be travel? Is there going to be a travel report? Yes, you'll input this just like you do your normal time, putting in your break time, your admin time, and your travel time.
Okay.
Any other questions? Sorry, I went ahead and muted everybody again. It got a little noisy as soon as I unmuted everyone. It's much easier if you use the chat message to send me an email and I can read the question. Yes, this is going to be in all Cassey stores, all 1,800 and some odd stores that we have. So there are still some projects out there, locations out there. If you don't have all of them or some in your area, you may reach out to your field supervisor and they may be able to schedule them for you. Do we have any other questions? All right, again, if you will be getting a copy of this presentation in the mail along with the MOTS labels and a copy of the letter of authorization. Hopefully you should have that by Friday. It will be coming from our fulfillment center in Kansas, so you should be receiving a color copy of this. Your password for this call to record your time on JET is JUICE. And the time for this conference call will be approximately 20 minutes. If there's no other questions, I will go ahead and let you all go. And thank you for your time as far as joining us this morning. And there will be a video conference available for you to review. Should you not have been able, if you want to go back and double check and hear some of what Ralph said in the actual recording of this presentation. One last time, is there anyone else that needs a question? Okay. I want to thank everyone for their time. And if you have any issues next week, please email your field supervisor and ask them to send a message to Linda Ferris, and she can get a message to Ralph or Floyd, as I will not be available. I will be on vacation. And we will post that information on JET also. Thank you.
Thank you.